From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.
Good morning, this is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Wednesday, January 7th. Before we get into our headlines for this morning, let's go over our question of the day. Over 10% of people say this is something movie theaters should offer. What is it? The answer is intermission. If you'd like to participate, one of our viewers actually got this right this morning. You can put in your guesses on the 1011 Now Facebook page, put in your guess, and we'll read off some of our viewer guesses on the morning show. But be sure to tune in from 5 to 7 to watch us react and catch it live. Now moving on over to our headlines this morning, we'll start off on the international side. The White House said yesterday that President Trump is discussing a, quote, range of options to acquire Greenland and use the U.S. military to do it, being not off the table. Statement from the White House press secretary notes the president has made it clear acquiring Greenland is a national security priority for the U.S. Greenland is a self-governing territory of Denmark, a fellow NATO nation. The Trump administration's recent renewed interest spurred a statement of support for Denmark from other European leaders. They said yesterday the Arctic island belongs to its people, and Greenland said it has asked for a meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Your second story this morning, the Nebraska unicameral will gather to start their 2026 legislative session, going to the local headlines. The 60-day session will likely focus on the budget as the state's deficit sits at $471 million. It must be reconciled by April 17th. But education funding, the potential expulsion of a senator, and renewed social issues will likely take up space as well. We will be providing coverage at the Capitol throughout the session, including on air and on our 1011 Now app and over on Roku. Now, speaking of this, we're learning more details about Senator Dan McKeon facing the possibility of expulsion in this legislative session. A letter sent to the senator this week from Senator Ben Hansen, chair of the exec board, sheds light on an alleged pattern of behavior from McKeon. From the Nebraska Examiner, the board recommended expelling him following allegations he had inappropriately touched a legislative staffer, which he denies. Letter described separate allegations claiming he made an inappropriate joke in the presence of a female staffer during his first week in office, and said there are complaints alleging he has used unprofessional language regarding colleagues and individuals of other races. Exec board is ready to introduce a resolution today for his expulsion. Senator Hansen says he will then schedule a hearing for the resolution on January 12th. Your third story, an update to a story we brought you yesterday morning. An apartment fire brought crews out toward downtown Lincoln just after 1 a.m. Tuesday. We now know that one man was found dead inside of that apartment. Happened at a building near 14th and H Streets. One witness told our reporter on scene he was woken up by the smell of smoke. The building was quickly evacuated with the fire mostly contained to the basement. LFR tells us they found the man on the couch, and they also found a cat dead inside of the apartment as well. Victim hasn't been identified yet by police, but an autopsy has been scheduled. Investigators are still working to learn the extent of the damage and the cause of the fire itself. Fourth story, with the new year comes new changes, including at Lincoln Public Schools, where several faculty and staff are moving up and on after this school year. One of those is the head of security for LPS, who came to this district after a long career in law enforcement. Joseph Wright spent 27 years with Lincoln Police, but the death of 20 students and 6 staff at Sandy Hook Elementary prompted him to take the security job with LPS. Bringing his decades of law enforcement experience to protect those in the public school district, Wright says he's seen many changes since he first started, including being given a lot more resources now, especially in the wake of Sandy Hook. As for the future of the district, Wright says it's time to bring in a new person with fresh thinking.
I think we need to keep our foot on the gas with the things that we're doing well, especially with our Safe and Secure Kids Interlocal Agreement, where we work with our SROs and make sure that our school administrators and SROs work together as partners.
He adds that partnership helps to ensure police officers aren't used when they're not needed, like in cases of student discipline, but also having trained officers available for when it is appropriate. It's a partnership Wright says can't be taken for granted. Your fifth story, a bit of deja vu as the Husker football team has once again found a quarterback in the transfer portal. QB in question, Anthony Colandrea, a St. Petersburg, Florida native who spent the past season as the starter at UNLV. The Rebels finished the regular season 10-2 before falling to Boise State in the Mountain West Championship game and Ohio in the Frisco Bowl. Originally a 2-year starter at Virginia, Colandrea was instrumental in UNLV maintaining a high level of success under first-year coach Dan Mullen. So we'll have to see how this develops over here in Nebraska. And if he stays, I know it certainly feels like a case of deja vu, and we've already heard this story before. So let's hope that this is a permanent transfer. And wrapping things up to your final story this morning. Yesterday, Governor Jim Pillen was joined by several state leaders to announce Nebraska's participation in the United States' semi-quincentennial. The celebration will feature a series of events this year honoring Nebraska's role in our country's history. Some of those include an outdoor challenge put on by Nebraska Game and Parks, as well as displaying the world's largest American flag in Omaha and Lincoln around Memorial Day.
So, Nebraska as a state, much less as a territory, really didn't exist in 1776 when our founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence. But what did exist was this place and who we are that contributed in many ways to what America became and what it is today.
Also part of Nebraska's celebration is an exhibit at the state capitol featuring more than 80 paintings of historical figures in the American Revolution, all created by the controversial content creator PragerU. Governor Pillen says despite criticisms of PragerU and its political leanings, he wanted to include the displays at the Capitol to celebrate the nation's history and says he isn't interested in taking sides. That's going to be your morning pulse for this Wednesday morning, and we'll wrap things up with a look at your 7-day before sending things over to Brandon Rector with more.
Good Wednesday morning, meteorologist Brandon Rector with you in the 1011 Severe Weather Center. It is going to be mostly sunny, if not sunny, for the majority of the area for the majority of the day, with winds out of the southwest at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll see our clouds increasing tonight. Could be mostly cloudy, if not cloudy, by midnight. Temperatures at noon today already into the 50s. It looks like at 4 this afternoon, mid-50s to mid-60s. Some of us will be near record high territory this afternoon. And then at 8 this evening, we still have temperatures in the upper 30s to mid-40s. In Lincoln for today, warming up to 64 this afternoon. That is almost 30 degrees above average for this time of the year and just 1 degree shy of the record high of 65 for today's date back in 2003.
From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.